Welcome to First News Broadcast, your trusted source for breaking news and in-depth analysis. Today, we bring you exclusive coverage of a historic moment in...
Well, all right. Well, good morning to you, viewers. Let's begin what's trending in Enugu State, where the government on Monday, July 7th, launched Enugu Air, a new state-owned commercial airline. The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, who graced the unveiling ceremony, commended Enugu State Governor Peter Mba for his proactive approach towards the launch of the airline. He emphasized the importance of running the airline professionally, cautioning against political interference, bureaucracy, and the issuance of free tickets, citing the pitfalls that led to the demise of Nigerian Airways. Let's take a look.
What is left to advise before I leave here is that do not let Enugu Air go the way of the Nigerian Airways. I beg you, run it professionally. Run it professionally. Do not let bureaucracy to kill Enugu Air. Be prompt in your departure, be prompt in your arrival. CEO of Enugu Air, I want to give you a directive. The governor, if you say I should not come out today, if I give this directive, then I should not leave Enugu State. If the governor is 2 minutes late, close the door and take off. If the governor is 2 minutes late, close the door of the aircraft and take off. Doctor, do you support that? He said he supports it. Run it professionally. Do not say, 3 of my friends are coming. They are friends of Enugu. Give them 3 free tickets. No. This one I am clapping today. They won't be free tickets. Oh. But support it, Enugu people. Rise up and support your airline. Don't ask for free tickets. Be prompt. Come on time. Check in on time. Do not complain when you miss your flight when you are late. Please, I beg you.
Do not complain when you miss your flight. I thought that Festus Keyamo spoke very well when I was looking through the comments on, social media. Some people were saying, we know who he's referring to. Take your sub right there. Well, all right, let me take this comment from Smith, who wrote on IG. He said, Festus Keyamo, your speech deserves to be laminated, framed, and kept at Enugu Airport, for that is exactly what it means to be a minister of positivity and impact in a country where the citizens are losing hope in all sectors. You have run your office without nepotism, and I'm letting you know that positive Nigerians are keeping records. Thank you for making your office do exactly what it should be doing. Congratulations, His Excellency Peter Mba. Congratulations, Ndi Enugu. And that was a resounding congratulations, really, because obviously this is a sort of investment that we need across all states. But there's been conversation as to whether or not this airline will be sustained because, there's this sort of partnership that they have with, is it XCJet? Yeah. And that conversation, I think I heard you earlier this morning about whether or not Enugu Air has the airline operator certificate,
Air certificate.
Operator AOC. Certificate, AOC, it's called Airline Operator Certificate. And, Enugu Airline, I read some comments from Festus Keyamo saying that they have applied for the AOC and hopefully within 2 years they would get it. But that's sort of the bottleneck that you will face if you are partnering with an airline that does not have an AOC.
Absolutely. In the morning when we gave our analysis of this, I looked at the differences between Ibom Air, which is Akwa Ibom's state carrier, and Cali Air, which was Cross River's state carrier, and what the difference was that led to the success of one and the failure of the other. One of the major things with Cali Air is that it didn't have this AOC, so it had to run a partnership with aero contractors. But also, they only started with 2 airlines, with 2 aircrafts, and the minimum that you need to be able to even apply for an AOC is 3 aircrafts. So I trust and believe that Governor, they launched with 3 aircrafts. Yes. So the process is long, it's arduous, there's a lot involved, there's demo flights, there's inspections, there's so many things that need to happen. And I trust and believe that Governor Peter Mba will stay the course to ensure that he gets that AOC certificate, because I think that's what will really make the sustainability of the airline.
Yes.
It's what will make sure that they're autonomous. They can make decisions when they want to, when they need to add to their fleet and so forth. They don't need to consult with too many people, and it'll keep their operations smooth. Because what happened with Cali Air was so unfortunate, especially when the fight started happening between the state and aero contractors. I think to this day, the state still owns aero contractors almost 900 billion naira from various discrepancies that happened in the running of that airline.
Yes.
So Peter Mba is a successful private sector man. So I'm sure he has all of these in view. And we continue to press on, and we also continue to press the NCAA, which is the issuing authority of that AOC, to ensure that they can also do this in a timely way.
Absolutely.
Because I don't think it should take almost, they say it takes 12 to 18 months to be able to get it. Hopefully that can be expedited.
Yeah, I think so. There's also that conversation about the legality of, advertising an airline, without an AOC. And so,
just to quickly round up, Cali Air, which was a cross-river airline, was instructed to actually remove the air from their name because they don't have an AOC. So you can't be called an airline without that certification.
Right. Well, at the end of the day, kudos to Enugu. They are the ones that will benefit from this. I believe that they are going to be operating between Enugu, Abuja for the first phase, and then eventually, they'll do more. Congratulations to the people of Enugu State and, of course, Peter Mba. We'll take another story now. Senator representing Kogi Central, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, spoke to reporters on Monday about her resumption in the Senate after a federal high court judgment lifted her 6-month suspension on Friday, July 4th. She expressed appreciation to her constituents and supporters and reiterated her dedication to her legislative duties in serving the people of Kogi Central. She also confirmed that she awaits the certified true copy of the judgment from the court to determine her next line of action. Let's take a look.
As a matter of fact, we expect to have this CTC today, but that also will determine our next step in action. The statement I made that day of me resuming on Tuesday was right immediately after the pronouncement of the court that my suspension was unconstitutional and excessive, and that the people should not be deprived representation, that even though the Senate has the powers to punish members, but they should not punish the constituents alongside. So based on that, when my people came home to my house in Abuja right from the courts, I did mention them that, okay, with this victory, we look forward to going to work on Tuesday. But that being said, like I said, we anticipate the judgment, the written judgment, the certified true copy, and that will determine the next step. But I'm very positive. But again, like I said, irrespective of me being under suspension, it never hindered me from working. I worked every day.
All right, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan here. Today is Tuesday, and you know that there was that video where she said she was going to resume on Tuesday. So, but it is, good to see that she has clarified that, she's going to wait for the certified true copy of the judgment before she takes her next line of action. Because, there was this group that was even advising her, please don't show up until at least the Senate calls you in and all of that. Rufai.
Which is only decently the case, and like we also did discuss yesterday, it's also best we get a certified true copy. So the question is, what is delaying the certified true copy? Is it out?
I spoke with our reporter yesterday, and he said that probably by the end of the week. Natasha here is saying that it should have come out today, or it should come out today. It should have
come out so that people can file their case. Because I don't want a case where Senate will now go on another long recess, will not delay whatever that has to be done. And please, we'd like to call on the judiciary. It's a certified true copy. At least before the judge gives the judgment, he's written it down, they've typed it out. We just need to vet, and it comes out immediately. So please, we beg them, certified true copy must go out, so that all parties can be able to see what is written in the certified true copy.
Yes.
That's just where we are going. Secondly, I wanted to chime in on the Enugu Air matter, and it's very important. See, there's vast potential in the airline business, and Enugu Air going into this makes a lot of sense. We'll be able to bring in vast potential, but it has to be managed properly. That's just it. They've gotten a leg up with Fidelity Bank. It has to be run properly. They have to be able to prove people and the doubters wrong. And we must have to reiterate that.
That would be nice.
And it is said, it is accountability that will make you prove those people wrong. What Keyamo said is, we're also going to help them with regional flights, which is good. They will submit their papers. Like you said, they will go through the process of getting the AOC. But we must not hear stories.
Yeah.
Because the way we are praising Mba today, that's the way we'll berate him if we hear stories and we hear that things are not going well. And kudos to Mr. Keyamo on all the great job. It doesn't mean, he's my very good friend, though. It doesn't mean we'll not disagree. We'll disagree because election season will come now. He will come and defend government, and I have empirical facts against him. So we'll disagree. I'm telling him in advance, but he's doing a good job supporting all the airlines in this country. That's a good way.
All right, good. Dr. Abacha, I wanted to come to you with Natasha's resumption. And of course, we wanted to just highlight the judgment again, some of the excerpts that we have seen. And one of it was the fact that she was fined 5 million naira for contempt of court. And we know that because of that, she may not, be able to hold any political office in the future if she doesn't go on appeal. Your thoughts on that?
Okay, the thing is this. I mean, Justice Bitan Yako was very clear in saying you have to publish the apology in 2 newspapers and also on Facebook, where the original satirical apology was, made. Now, also pay 5 million naira. Yesterday, I was going to make a clarification that where contempt is involved, there may be a complainant in the contempt proceeding who may have suffered damage. And that is why, that apology is not just to the court. It's also to the person who has suffered some kind of reputational damage. And you will recall that, yes, she flattered the order of court, but the satirical apology was directed to Senator Godswill Akpabio. That was just the point I wanted to make. That although it was civil contempt, as far as Shikuria, there are, because contempt is in 2 categories. Contempt in the face of court, contempt away from the face of court. So this is a case of contempt as far as Shikuria. So, but the court says we need that apology. We should put that apology forward. The second thing is that the Senate is saying that without that apology, she cannot show up. But she has provided useful clarification. She has said when our supporters came and all that, she said, we may show up on Tuesday.
That is today, yes.
But she has now said, well, she too has not seen the certified true copy.
Yes.
And that, when she sees the certified true copy and her lawyers analyze it and advise her appropriately, then she will know what to do next. So that's a very safe way.
Yes.
And you see that as the reporter was asking questions, she said, no, let's keep that. Let's keep that. Yes. Because she didn't want to repeat any offense.
All right.
However, she made one important point, or 2. What are the 2 important points that are isolated? That whether she's in the Senate or not, why she's still fighting that battle, that she has continued to represent the interest of her people in Kogi Central. Yeah. And that has not stopped her from pursuing matters that are of interest to our constituents and also to Nigerians, particularly with regard, she said, what she called the gold bill, something about gold that she says she's defending. And I think that, there's a very strong message there, namely that you don't have to be in the Senate to defend the interest of your people. Another strong point that she made was about women representation. That is also about women, but she didn't go far as to talk about our original, course of action. She said there are 3 women out of all the members in the Senate. And this morning, we have also talked about this women representation. So if she's talking from that high level, and she's saying, look, women should be supported, I think that is also a point that you can't take away from her. But she has an obligation to clear all the legal issues. Yes. It's not just the matter in the Court of Justice Binta in Yako. We understand there are still other cases that are pending. But I'm sure she will have gained better clarity
Yes.
as to the circumstances in which she has found herself. As to Enugu Air, what Keyamo himself had said previously, Enugu Air operates from Akanu Ibiam International Airport, now what you call Enugu Airport. That airport was running at a loss. So the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development will appear to have promised, even before this Enugu Air, that they were going to make every effort to make that airport functional and to encourage private sector participation.
Right, okay. 2,
Keyamo belongs to the APC. We saw him supporting the PDP government, saying that this is not about APC.
I actually like that, yes.
Or APC.
Yeah.
This is about the interest of the people of Nigeria.
Yeah.
And that President Tinubu, whether you are APC or PDP, is committed to making this to function. And it was in that context that he says the federal government will support the Enugu state government to get the operating air license and to also make that particular airport a hub. Right. However, the caveat, which I pointed out in the morning, is a statement that had been made originally by Mr. Bismarck Rewane, saying that, look, out of all the 30-something airports you have in Nigeria, maybe only 3 are functional. What is important is to make that airport functional, to make Enugu Air functional, and to ensure that it is not killed by bureaucracy. And Keyamo referred to Nigeria Airways.
Yes.
The story of Nigeria Airways is a story for another day. When you bring it up, we shall tell this story.
We shall tell it. Probably on our milestone story. I'll figure that out one day. You wanted to make a quick point on something, just a quick point. I heard you saying you wanted to do just a quick point. What was it?
I want to read based on the reportage.
On what story?
Natasha's story.
Natasha's story, okay.
This is based on the reportage. This is the Punch reporting that in a twist, the court imposed monetary penalty on Oduaga for breaching a prior court directive that barred both parties for making public statements about the ongoing legal matter that runs into millions of naira. There was a word by the court that both parties should not talk.
Yes.
She breached that one.
Yes.
Hence my point yesterday.
About?
The contempt is for the courts.
Yes.
The contempt is for the courts.
Yes.
The contempt was as issued by the courts.
What are you agreeing?
Wait, did somebody say it
the
wasn't
law of
for the court?
contempt is a special category in law. It's not about sentiment or personal opinion.
With due respect.
It's about law.
All right.
Based on the reportage, the contempt
no, there is a
for
complaint,
the
and the matter was even taken to court
and
by Akpabio, Akpabio's counsel.
And why I say that is it's also best for us to see the CTC.
Yeah,
that's why I kept on repeating
let us
that
not
point.
mislead the public.
That's why I kept on repeating the point.
This is elementary law, please.
No,
let
us see the
mislead public.
Yeah.
Dr. Abati, you yourself said yesterday that you can't comment on a judgment, you don't have the CTC. How come you are not commenting on a judgment, you don't have the CTC? Let's wait for the CTC. All I read is a reportage of what is going on.
Okay,
that's all I'm
some
saying.
of these reports are done by lawyers who, by reporters who don't even
Dr. Abati, we have a reporter there, and I have a count of the reporter who has made so many different comments, whether or not the judge said it was unconstitutional or not.
Reporter
no, I'm talking about Arise, the reporter, Godfrey Ocean.
He was at the position of the law.
He was at the court. Yes. I'm just reporting what he said. Yes.
Did he say that contempt is for the court, not that the complainant in the action?
No, I'm just trying to highlight that we have a reporter. At the end of the day, we'll get all the information from the reporter.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay.
Well, all right. Shall we head over?
It's not about sentiment.
Yes.
Let's just see the CTC. That's all.
Correct. We'll see the CTC. Shall we head over to Edo State now, where the Students' Union government election at Auchi Polytechnic over the weekend turned violent, resulting in 2 deaths and 6 injuries. The violence erupted when local boys backing a candidate known as Voice, who was losing to a more popular candidate called Verify, disrupted the election by snatching ballot boxes, firing gunshots into the air, and using tear gas to disperse students. Videos showed students scaling fences amid gunfire and smoke. Let's take a look before we come back for a discussion.
See election. election again. Auchi. Go. Take gas, take gas. For election again. Hey. Oh. For election again. It's you.
I mean, Vimbai, this was terrible to see. I mean, 2 students died, and we're still waiting for more clarity as to, why this occurred. I know that there's been, condemnation from student leaders who have called for the arrest of those responsible and suggested considering online voting for future elections. The state police have yet to release an official report. I'm still waiting for that report as to why this occurred in a school. And, this is the sort of thing we see during our election season, Vimbai. We've seen people like Peter Obi condemn this sort of action. Your thoughts, really quickly?
While we wait for the official report from the police, and this is not the official position, yes, but one thing we know for sure is the fact that the spread and the scourge of cultism in our tertiary institutions is getting out of control. And this is why when Governor Monday Okpebolo came into office, one of his priority agendas was to fight cultism. If you saw, he went around different places. He was destroying what he thought were reported to be headquarters of their operations and so forth. And the sad thing is that this is what young people end up getting involved in tertiary institutions, just so they can survive, so they can make it through, so they can be part of a hierarchy that protects them and provides for them. So it all comes down to, some people might say it's moral decay, but no, it's poverty that drives these things. It's poverty that drives students to now feel that there needs to be corruption that is now escalated to the point of violence in student elections.
I mean, come on, student elections. It started from here, and then what's going to happen in the future?
In the future.
At this point.
Because these are the same people who are nurtured into the political system. And we remember what happened with what is it? Is it Nas, the one who was accusing?
Nas, yes.
Is Nas, the one who was accusing the first son of getting involved.
Yes.
But whoever was involved in that perpetration, it's just, we're now seeing this consistent pattern of violence during student body elections.
By the way, we haven't had the end of that Nas story yet. We're still waiting for more report on that story, but we'll follow up on this story. And those 2 students, may their souls rest in peace. We'll take another story now. Labour Party's 2023 presidential candidate, Peter Obi, has been making headlines after he clarified persistent rumors about working for former military head of state, the late General Sani Abacha. Peter Obi made the clarification during a live television interview, asserting that he had no prior government experience before becoming the governor of Anambra State. Obi stated that his background was entirely in successful private enterprise and commerce, and that his only interaction with the Abacha government was a business-driven meeting with other importers to address severe port congestion and import restriction during the mid-1990s. The meeting led to the formation of a committee to decongest the ports. Obi emphasized that it did not constitute working for the government or an endorsement of the military regime. Let's take a look.
There was a time during Abacha's government, because when Abacha took over, they said all ports, seaports and everything closed. So they came out with a policy that caused congestion in our ports, even in the airports. Goods were not being cleared, goods were not being exported and everything. And some of us felt, no, we need to go and see the head of state then, or at least the commissioner for Minister of Finance, who was I think it was Ani. So we came to Abuja. We had an audience with the Minister of Finance and the President and the head of state then. And we were able to elucidate the problem we're facing. The President then directed the Finance Minister that he should take some of us who are the leaders, should just form a committee to decongest all the ports in Nigeria. And there were about 10 or 20 ports. Make sure that in each committee, one of us is involved. That's the only thing I had to do with the port. And then when we finished, which lasted maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, They said it is now time to probe and reorganize the port, because I had written in one of my comments that Nigerian Port Authority is the only port I know in the world that have an office outside its country of operation. And couple that they've seen, they said, you become a member of the panel. He said, if anything, I was a member that tried to reorganize and sack people. Saying he has nothing to do with working government. I've never met Abacha. I don't know him. I'm not in the military.
Well, all right, this video was trending because, some people had put 2 videos together saying that, oh, here is Peter Obi saying that he's never met Abacha, he didn't work for Abacha, but he clearly detailed when he met Abacha during that interview with Channels TV and saying that, at the end of the day, that was the only meeting I had with Abacha, and people talking about the fact that I worked for Abacha, which he claims he didn't. Well, here is Peter Obi back in February 2023 during an interactive session at the Nigerian Economic Summit Group Presidential Dialogue, narrating his interaction with the late General Sani Abacha. He said that after Abacha was informed about the decongestion at the port, Abacha suggested to the minister at the time that he be appointed as chairman of the Port Decongestion Committee. Let's take a look.
I was telling them a story last night about Abacha. How we went to, we were almost supposedly be arrested for not paying duty. The port was congested. Everything was, under Abacha, you clear goods so faster than you can do today. And we did everything. So we're supposed to be under arrest because they said we didn't pay duty. We didn't do anything. So we went to Abuja to see Abacha. We were 100. They said they're going to lock us up. Only 30 agreed to see him. And when they said I should speak, I started talking. Halfway, the man banged his table and said, call I need the minister. He said, form today, port decongestion. You see this boy who is talking, which is me, chairman, thinker. That's how I got involved in the port. And when they finished it, everybody was coming for Abacha for clearing the port. But all he did, he took decision by listening to us. That's all.
All right, there you have it. Peter Obi there talking about the fact that the late General Sani Abacha had suggested that he be the chairman of that committee, which he eventually said that he didn't take the position. Dr. Abati, your comment on this story?
No, I don't think that, all the people who are attacking Mr. Peter Obi should keep wasting their time. One, he's a politician, he's a citizen. He has a right to make his own choices. He has a right to express opinion. And what are the kind of opinions that he has been expressing? He says he thinks that Nigeria can be a better place. He thinks that a better Nigeria is possible, I think, P-O in capital letters. Okay, how does anybody have a problem with a man who says we need to invest in education, invest in health, improve the circumstances of Nigeria? Even if he cites the example of Bangladesh, Singapore, and they also call him Mr. China, giving examples from other parts of the world. So a man who says, let's engage in a conversation about how to make Nigeria better and how to help people who are in distress, I don't think that should be a problem. Whether he says he is running in 2027 or not, and all that should not be the issue. Let us focus on the ideas. He says he did not work in the government. It's not a crime for a man to be invited to serve on a committee and say, oh, there's port congestion. You are an importer. You know the port very well. What ideas do you have? You chair the committee. That's service to the country. So I think that, this personalization, this ethnicization, this provincialization of politics serves no purpose.
Absolutely. Well, you wanted to say something. Yes, before I come to you, still, we'll just tie it together really quickly. Well, Peter Obi visited Benin City, Edo State on Monday, where he donated 15 million naira to St. Philomena Nursing School for an ongoing building project. During the visit, Obi emphasized that his presence was not politically motivated, but rather focused on the future of Nigeria. He stressed the critical importance of investing in health and education, stating that these are the most significant investments a nation can make for its human capital overall wealth. The nursing students in a show of appreciation, welcome Peter Obi by singing his praises. Let's take a look.
A healthy nation is a wealthy nation. So you must invest in health. If you want to look at measurable, the most important measurable of development is health, education, and pulling people out of poverty. And you can't talk about health without talking about human capital infrastructure in it. And the most important human infrastructure in health is nursing.
All right, that was our mama. I don't know, that song is so viral. Now, all these nursing students, when you donate, now it's now our papa be this, so, but always kudos to Peter Obi. This is not the first time we're seeing that he's donating to education, to healthcare. He's been doing this for a while now. We need more philanthropists like this. Rufai.
Okay, see. I'm not surprised that this is coming up against Peter Obi.
What?
It's politics.
Or previous story.
Allegations of working with Abacha.
Okay.
In a process to demonize somebody in politics, people will use all sorts, including lies. The funny thing is that most of the politicians that are shouting today that somebody worked with Abacha, which he has explained that it was to lead a committee for decongestion based on the fact that they were businessmen that went to complain. Most of the politicians that are talking today, they worked with Abacha in their time.
Yeah.
Let's be realistic.
Right.
See,
right.
The running mate to MQ Abiola, didn't he serve with Abacha? So, you see, a lot of them, when it suits them, they play this politics of, it doesn't concern me. But when they see another person, they try to smear. That's the name of, and that's why they tell you that if you want to know who your mother dated before she met your father, go and do politics. So they will say also, both is true, both is lie, both is gone, and more will come.
All right.
The only offense you have done is that you have ventured. Look at politicians fighting today. They were both in the same camp before. Once they are at different camps, they start to fight.
Okay.
But please, like Dr. Abati said rightly, the argument should be about the best idea to move Nigeria forward.
Absolutely.
None of them comes to say, okay, this is how much I will spend on a national health insurance scheme for poor people in Nigeria so that you will stop out-of-pocket payments. You will never see them do that.
All right.
All they keep doing is, oh, this one, they pay your wife money, they pay your wife. And that's why I've dared them, and I dare them. They should release that forensic report. Let's see if the violence will not catch fire for everybody.
Open the report.
Open the report.
I think
We want the report.
While it is clear that it's popular with youths of Nigeria, I don't think they would like the reference to Nawa Papa be this. So
Oh, you don't like that song?
He's still a young man.
He's 60-something?
Yeah, maybe 61.
He's somebody's father now. Nawa Papa be this.
No, not an old man. He's still a young man. It's just that he's a Catholic. Otherwise, he's young enough to
do what?
No, complete it for me. Complete it for you. Complete it for
me. Can you All right, fantastic. Let's run through our good news report now.
Thank you for tuning in to First News Broadcast.